In this week's episode of Weathering Parenthood, I sit down with Maddie Gardner. Maddie is a mom who lives in Memphis who just finished her first year of parenting.
Learning all these new things. Yes, and she is walking. We baby proofed yesterday. We went to every home improvement store, and surprisingly, it was not easy to find cabinet locks and baby gates. So trusty Target helped us out.
We talked a lot about what it's been like raising her daughter while she's made the transition into her dream job and how she's impacting the lives of thousands of athletes.
But we can't move to Memphis. Our family's in North Carolina. Our friends are in North Carolina. Such a bummer. I'll have to turn this down. And he looked back at me and he was like, Maddie, no, this is your dream. We're going to Memphis. We're going to do it. We'll figure it out.
Maddie, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so excited to talk to you, Lauren, and to meet you and to see your face. We've only emailed, but you're a cheerleader too. Yes. So it's we know each other already.
We are of the same elk.
Exactly.
Right? Is that what they say? So give us a little background. These are the same two questions I ask everybody. Where are you from and how many kids do you have?
I'm from Mount Airy, North Carolina. I am currently living and working in Memphis, Tennessee, and my husband and I have one daughter, and she turned a year at the end of January. So 14 months.
You can still say she's one.
She's one.
Yes.
But she's already changed so much since she turned one. She's doing all this new stuff. So I'm she's 14 months.
Yeah. I always am at what point do I just say we're almost my youngest is almost 1.5. So I have to count on my fingers sometimes. I don't remember what month we're at sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And I do feel a little bit annoying saying the months, but they change a lot in a month.
Yeah.
Still at this age.
I think we stop doing that maybe by the time they're 3 or 4.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it if you do it.
Yes, you still have a little time. So what has the first year of motherhood been like for you?
Oh, eye-opening, humbling. I feel like I have changed so much, just as much as she's changed, honestly. She was born at a time when my job was really taking off in a new direction and working on a really exciting new project. And so when I came back to work after maternity leave, it was I hit the ground sprinting. So trying to figure out newness at work and newness at home has been very challenging. So I almost feel like I'm a completely different person than I was a year ago.
I think that's normal for any mom, regardless of what their career is doing at the time.
Yeah. I love that we live in a time where moms are sharing and are so vulnerable and open on social media about motherhood, because I almost feel like they see me. I'm not alone on this little island. We're all in this together. You know what I've been through. I know what you're going through. So that's been helpful.
100%. It's oh, your kid's not sleeping, mine either. And it's yeah, none of them are sleeping. Oh, okay. Let's all talk to each other in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is normal.
Yes. It's all normal. And then it all passes. And then there's a new thing. And it's a fun experiment, I find. Some days I'm what now? What's the new thing we're going to do today?
Right. But it's oh, you're walking. I have to entertain you in a place where you can fall down and you won't skin your knees too hard, but also you're not going to run out into the street. And if there's a fence, that's good. But is this slide too old for you? Is this playground okay? No. All right, let's try this open field. Oh, okay. There's a lot of dog waste in this one. Let's move. It's what are we going to fill the day with when I'm not at work and you're not at school?
Yep, I totally feel that. Were there any surprises or good or bad or anything unexpected, good or bad, within your first year?
Oh, everything was surprising in a way. My sister has 2 twins. I guess it's kind of that's how it goes. 2 twins. My sister has twins, and they're almost 6. And so I lived near them when they were first, a year and a half when they first moved back to North Carolina. And so I felt I can handle babies. I can handle 2 babies at a time. I got this. But something about there is no plan B when you're their mom. When I was keeping other people's kids, I'm Like I can handle it, but if something crazy happens, like I'll call their mom.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like it's not an option with your own. So everything has been beautifully surprising, I will say. Um, of course, like her first laugh and her first steps and crawling and all of the milestones have just been really like incredible to witness. Um, I'm so proud of her when she does anything new.
That's awesome. And it's also kind of cool to see like there's a small little version of you, like walking around your house and like learning
Yeah.
small little things.
Learning all these new things. Yes, and she is walking. We baby proofed yesterday. We went to every home improvement store, and surprisingly, like it was not easy to find cabinet locks and baby gates. So trusty Target helped us out. So now we have, yeah, she can't open the cabinets. She can't bang her head on the corner of the fireplace. She can't climb up the stairs.
You
We're
might,
safe, hopefully.
yeah. Or there might be like another thing you're like, oh, I didn't know that's a possibility. Like
Hmm.
I have friends
I'm
that have to,
sure.
yeah, I have friends that have to baby proof their toilets. Um, Not
Uh,
necessarily because the kid will like play in it, but like they'll throw things in. Like I found
mm.
Legos in my toilet one day and I was like, those aren't supposed to be in there.
And she takes things. She's like a little sh trinkets, like she'll pick them up. And my husband's wallet was like in the dog's toy bin. He's like, I would have never found this if we didn't watch her throw it in there. Like, right.
That's really
We got to
funny.
figure out. Yeah, we got to keep eyes on her.
That's great. It's fun to like discover what they're discovering. It's like you see it through their eyes and you're like, would never assume that you'd be so fascinated by a piece of paper on the ground or something.
Nope. Yep. Remotes, wallets, anything. Toothpaste. She loves to hold my toothpaste.
Oh, okay. It's
Mm,
anything that's
try.
not it's anything that's not a toy, I find.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'm like, I bought, you have toys. You don't need the remote. Or you
She
could
does.
or you could buy
Mm,
like a fake remote, don't put batteries in it, and then they think that they have control of the TV.
mhm. Oh, yeah, that's helpful too. And that would probably ease my concern about her getting a battery out as well.
Yeah, my I think my
So,
sister for my first birthday just bought him like she went to like I don't know like maybe Target and just bought like a generic TV remote, like not a toy one, like a regular one, so it looks like he has some
mhm.
kind of control. And he's like, "Oh, I have a remote now," and then he like points it to the TV. Doesn't do anything, but it's like it's a fun little thing for him to have, and he thinks that he's important.
Yeah, the power is in his hands.
Exactly,
I love
exactly.
that. Smart.
So before you started working where you are now at Varsity, you worked in local TV news like I do right now.
Hmm.
What kind of made you make that transition? Was it something you always wanted to do? Or was it, what kind of made you pull the trigger to make that move?
Yeah. I thought for sure that I was going to be in television news forever because I loved it and I still love it. Like I feel like if someone called me up and just offered, the perfect job today in television news that, I would be interested in going back to it. I think what was really hard for me at that time in my life was I was a breaking news reporter in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there was no consistency from day to day. It was impossible to know when I would come home, where I would be at the end of the day, if I'd be up in the helicopter, if I'd be, 3 hours away covering the breaking news story, um, if I was going to get called in to continue the coverage throughout the evening. There was just no predictability in my schedule. And I had been dating my husband for about a year at that time. We met in Charlotte and we were talking about, marriage and family and what we wanted. And I was thinking, goodness, how hard would this be if we had a child? And fortunately, I had an incredible mentor in Charlotte who has 3 children now and has written books about being a mom. And, she has talked about balancing it all. Her name is Molly Grantham. And just how it's impossible to balance it all, right? And it's just like a constant juggle of everything. And I admire her and all of the mothers who continue to do that. But I was thinking like, I don't know if that's the path that I want to go down. Um, and so I made the jump to work in crisis communications for a company in the Charlotte area. And then about a year into that stint, the chief marketing officer at Varsity Spirit called and said, "Hey, we have this job opening and I'd love for you to interview for it." And the rest is history. I was like, yes, absolutely. This is exactly what I want to be doing. This is an area of my life that was so important to me, and I would love to get back into it. Varsity Spirit is a company that focuses on cheer, dance, band, and yearbook. So everything from camps to competitions to uniforms, and now a professional cheer league. So I grew up cheering, and I was like, this is what's meant to happen for me right now.
And now you kind of get to mix both. You still sort of are broadcasting during
Yes.
these competitions, but it's on a subject
Yes, absolutely.
that you love.
So before I was full-time for varsity, we have a couple of shows on ESPN for cheerleading. So high school, college, and all-star. And they would invite me back to report for the all-star show. And then that kind of turned into doing some live shows for them on our streaming platform, Varsity TV. And this was all when I was still full-time news and corporate communications. And so I was kind of like still in the world, but just with like my pinky toe. And I would come back from those weekends and my now husband would be like, "Goodness, you are so happy when you're doing that. Like it seems like you really love that." And I was like, "Yeah, I do really love that." So when they invited me to come on full time, I was like, "All right, this seems like something I can't say no to."
That's awesome. Did you already have your daughter when you guys moved?
No. So the year 2023, beginning of 2024, we decided to do like everything all at once. So I left my corporate communications job in August. We decided we were moving to Memphis, Tennessee from Charlotte, North Carolina. We bought a house in September. We got married in December. We went on our honeymoon. We moved at the end of January, and then we found out we were having our daughter in May. So it was like within a year, we did a lot of things. Yes.
Thunderstorms that are hanging out mostly off the
As a
coastline
meteorologist,
this
I
morning.
can't always control the weather. And as parents, we can't always control our kids. But we can make sure our outfits aren't a total disaster. That's why I'm excited to partner with Mario Pucci, South Florida's destination for timeless, stylish clothing that fits every chapter of life. They can get you out of the leggings and out of the house. Whether you're headed into the office, out to dinner, or to the carpool pickup line, Mario Pucci has you covered. Plus, when you look great, parenting somehow feels easier. Visit Mario Pucci in Regency Park, Boca Raton today.
That's so fun, though. It's like all these exciting things that you guys are doing, like all at once.
Yeah, our joke was like we just had a fridge full of champagne because people kept giving us champagne for all of these milestones, and something else would come up like that we weren't ready to celebrate that last one yet. So it's like new job, house, wedding, move, honeymoon, baby. Like it was just we were waiting to pop the champagne.
That's really funny. So what is your official job title at Varsity?
I am the content marketing manager here. So I oversee a couple of different things. Our social media channels, we have a ton. Varsity TV, which is our streaming service. And we live stream our events, but we also do original content on there. And then email and web marketing. And then the Pro Cheer League is this new project that I've been working on for the past, it's almost been a year exactly. And so I handle marketing from top to bottom for the Pro Cheer League, including doing our live broadcast of our matches on ION.
So let's talk about the Pro Cheer League now.
Okay.
A lot of athletes, including myself, like our cheer career ends in high school. Some people will go on to cheer in college, but it's usually not many. So now the Pro Cheer League gives the option for athletes to not just cheer in college, but like even when they graduate, this is something that they're able to do. What's that been like, you think, or I'm sure even athletes have spoken to you about them being able to continue their cheer career, like well beyond what they thought they would be able to maybe 5, 10 years ago?
I think truly it legitimizes the sport of cheer because it does now have a professional option. And if you look back at other sports, there's always been that path for those athletes. So to be able to help create that for cheerleaders has been very meaningful. And I've found a lot of joy in that work. Talking to the athletes has been one of the best parts of the gig, and hearing their stories about how, like you and I, they started cheerleading at a young age and they worked so hard on it. They missed so many things for it. They always had practice. They got to these elite levels, and then abruptly it just ended for them, whether it was their senior year at Worlds as a high schooler or nationals as a college cheerleader, or the last game they cheered as a college cheerleader. There was no outlet. Of course, they could coach. They could work at Varsity Spirit in the corporate offices, and always be attached to cheerleading in some way. But to continue actually doing the activity itself, it didn't exist. So when I first heard our president, Bill, talk about the Pro Cheer League a couple years ago, it's like, oh, that's a great thought, but will it actually work? Like, would it actually make sense to do it? Is there enough interest? Are there enough talented athletes at that level? And looking back now, I feel so silly, and I just want to apologize to the cheer community for thinking that, because there is so much talent and there is so much interest, because what you said, Lauren, because it's an opportunity that's never existed for them before. So it's been very rewarding to see that. And of course, I'm like thinking about, when did I stop cheering? I guess 2016 was my last year in college. So 10 years ago, like, would I have done this? I don't think I was talented enough. I watch these kids now and I'm like, oh, I couldn't do this. But I'm like, it would have been nice to have the option, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's like what always is like, for me, when I experience like you have to end it, is like there is no option. It's like you could coach, and I did that a little. I coached, some of my high school teams growing up, or once I had graduated high school, but like the opportunity was never there. So it's this like sort of like sad, empty feeling of like, now what? And so being able to do this for these athletes, I'm sure, is like incredible for them.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of times parents will reach out to me and say, my daughter or my son wants to cheer in college. Like, what are the scholarship opportunities for that? And some schools absolutely have scholarships. And some of the athletes that we see now in college cheer and dance are NIL athletes. Like, they are monetizing and getting paid to be athletes throughout their college career. And those things are new and they didn't exist before. But for the most part, because at a lot of schools, cheer is not part of the athletics department, there aren't scholarship opportunities for them. Mm-hmm. So parents don't want their children to focus on something that dead ends, right? Like there's not the next step. Mm-hmm. And so now with pro, and we're just in level 1, and season 1, and we've seen so much success. Like, my hope is that it continues to grow and expand, and it does create so many more opportunities for the athletes who are working so hard at this sport and who love it so much.
Is it full time for a lot of them in the Pro Cheer League, or is it like at the end of maybe some of their 9 to 5s, like practice is held in the evening?
Yeah, it's definitely not full time yet. Of course, that would be the goal, but it's a seasonal job. From tryouts were in the fall, and then our season wraps up on Friday on the end of March. So after that, we'll regroup and start working on season 2. But for the time being, no, it's not full time. A lot of these athletes do have jobs. Some of them are still on college teams or even all-star teams. They're coaching and things of that nature. So the requirement is that they're 18 and up. But as you know, a lot of 18-year-olds are still in college or in the workforce.
And there's 4 teams, right? It's in 4 cities
right now. You have a Florida team to cheer for, Miami Medal.
Yes.
And they have been dominant this season.
Okay, good to know.
We have a team in Dallas, and then near San Diego in the area we call Golden State Grit, and then Atlanta has Atlanta Air.
Very cool. It's really cool to like see the sport of cheerleading. I said sport for those people that are listening, thinking what's cheerleading, evolve over the last, even just the last decade. I mean, it's obviously way different from when we were younger, but it's cool to see that it's growing now. You have the pro cheer league, the sport now exists. There's more college competitive teams. So it gives a lot of these athletes, like you said, the opportunity to continue doing something that they once thought was, going to kind of be the end, maybe when they were at the end of high school or college.
Right. Yes. And to see that growth, so much has changed even in the time that I've not been an athlete. Like I said earlier, I look at the skills that they're doing at the level that I was competing at. Like, oh, I wouldn't have made this team. The talent has exploded and the popularity of it continues to grow, not just in the United States, but internationally. Like the international teams are so incredible and so talented. And that is very different than what we saw when I was still competing, when the international teams would come, and they were on a different level than the United States teams because the United States teams just had so many more years of practice and experience and coaching staff that knew, how to put together a cheer routine. So now it's very much an even playing field across the globe. And it's just been really, really cool to watch. And I'm really thankful that I am not doing it anymore because I would hurt myself.
I think about that all the time. I'll go to like a birthday party with one of my kids, and a gymnastics place is like a very popular birthday venue because it's just let the kids run around for an hour. And I'm like, I wonder how much I'd hurt myself if I did something on that tumble track. Like, would I
1,000%
fall and never get up again? Like, how dizzy would I be? Like, yes, I totally understand you. And I'm glad to watch the others compete and sit upright.
Yes, I'll talk about it.
Yes.
I'm happy to commentate what they're doing and report on what they're doing. And that's where my skills stop.
What has it been like now for you, sort of being able to also make this transition? Again, you cheered in college and then you maybe thought, okay, this was, my cheer career has ended, but now you're an adult working in this business and this industry. And now you're able to continue it even further. And, this is, your full-time job now. What's that been like for you to be able to kind of come back into this and get to do this more?
I think I've appropriately named this my dream job because it truly is so fulfilling and rewarding. And it just feels like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Right. So much so that when I was offered the full-time job, I looked at my husband and I was like, gosh, I really want to do this, but we can't move to Memphis. Like our family's in North Carolina. Our friends are in North Carolina. Such a bummer. I'll have to turn this down. And he looked back at me and he was like, Maddie, no, like this is your dream. We're going to Memphis. Like we're going to do it. We'll figure it out. So it's been so rewarding. And I don't think that I knew that I could make this a career when I was still cheering. And even when I was in news, I don't think I knew that I'd still be able to do broadcast work and cheer work and, marketing and things of that nature. So it came together in a way that's been incredible.
That is really cool. Like, what an awesome job to have. Like, I would also come and like consider that to be like a dream job. Like, who wouldn't want to talk about like a sport they love all day and work in the industry?
Lauren, look, season 2, who knows? More teams, more events, like we'll need help.
I'm down.
So
Girl,
we'll stay in touch.
For sure. I'm here. So you have to travel a lot for work as well. You were just in Houston, and I assume you'll be in Orlando next month. And I'm sure there's tons of stuff in between as well. What has that been like for you, having to travel? Does your daughter come? When will she start traveling with you if she hasn't been? How's that been? How have you been able to kind of balance that, kind of mentally? Because it's tough.
Yes. It's been really difficult. I'll be very honest. It's been the hardest part of this season of life. And I just mentioned we don't have family in Memphis. Um, all the grandparents and aunts and uncles are in North Carolina and Maryland, so we don't live anywhere near them. And fortunately, I have an incredible husband who is so capable. And when I travel, our daughter stays with him, and I don't worry because I know he's got it, right? But it is, especially at the age she's at, and so much is changing. Our busy travel season starts at the beginning of January and goes until like mid-May.
Huh.
And so I was in Los Angeles last weekend and she decided to start walking. And I wasn't there,
Oh.
right? And it just is like, oh, and it makes me feel so sad to think about those moments that I miss when I'm away. And yeah, it's been really challenging. Fortunately, our last event of the pro season is in Nashville, which is about a 3-hour drive from Memphis. And so the whole family's coming. We're packing up that pack and play and we are hitting the road. So she'll be there for the last one. And so will my husband. But I think that has without a doubt been the most difficult part of the job because obviously all I've talked about for the last 20 minutes is how much I love this job, but I'll always love my daughter more. And so missing out on those little moments, big moments, first steps, first real steps, has been tough.
Yeah, I think it is for any mom. There's always the mom guilt of like, should I be doing this? Is it okay that I missed that? Like we were saying in the beginning, like, you get it. I understand what you're going through, this, that, and the other thing. So I totally understand what you mean with like you feel like you're missing some of the big or small things, but you're also allowed to go and fill your cup and do the fun mom stuff that, even though this is considered work for you, it is also, a lot of fun to go out and do these things.
Yeah. My sister is an incredible businesswoman and she has a really fancy, cool business job way high up in the company. And she always kind of brings me back down to earth and says, but imagine what Mary Elizabeth will be able to see if you're working so hard and you're doing something you love. So just keep that in mind. Like it feels like you're away from her and you're missing out on this, but think of all that she's gaining by seeing you chase your dream. And so I keep that in the back of my mind. It helps in those moments when I'm alone in my hotel room at night and just watching the videos that my husband sent of the day of her doing all this incredible stuff. But no, I don't want it to ever get easier because I always want to feel so passionate about both things. But I am excited for, the moment where I'm at peace with it because it is still really hard right now.
Thunderstorms that are hanging out mostly off the
As a
coast
meteorologist, I
this
can't
morning.
always control the weather. And as parents, we can't always control our kids, but we can make sure our outfits aren't a total disaster. That's why I'm excited to partner with Mario Pucci, South Florida's destination for timeless, stylish clothing that fits every chapter of life. They can get you out of the leggings and out of the house. Whether you're headed into the office, out to dinner, or to the carpool pickup line, Mario Pucci has you covered. Plus, when you look great, parenting somehow feels easier. Visit Mario Pucci in Regency Park, Boca Raton today.
I couldn't agree more with what your sister said. It's good to see like a hardworking mom enjoying herself, loving what it is that she's doing.
Yeah.
So what has it been like for you? We're going to go back to cheer for a second.
Okay.
We cheered around-ish the same time. I'm a few years older than you. What has it been like to kind of be in it where cheerleading started competitive cheer with novice, intermediate, and advanced. And now it has grown into, I think, 7 or 8 levels, different sizes. There's so many divisions now. What has it been like to just kind of like be a part of and now working in the industry, watch this sport just kind of explode like that?
Right. When I graduated and I got my first job in news and, I just poured my whole self into that. And I was, the MMJ on the weekend morning show, which It's like the worst shift in the world.
Yes.
And you're by yourself in like these crazy places at 3 a.m. I didn't have a ton of time to keep up with cheerleading. I just really wanted to focus on being the best journalist I could be. And so I was a few years removed when I started watching videos again. And like then TikTok was kind of a thing where the cheer videos were living and you didn't have to go to YouTube anymore. They were just served to you and on your FYP. And I think it was like, whoa, this is different. Like, I don't know this. Like I knew what we did, like you said, cut and dry, a few divisions, you had a few age groups, and now there's just an opportunity for any athlete who wants to cheer. There is a team and a place for them, which is awesome to see. And once you figure it out, which it took a couple of months for me to wrap my head around, like a 4.2 division or a senior 6 open, like, I'm just making up crazy words now, but it took a minute for me to figure out like, this is all new and this is all different, but it's serving the purpose to get as many people into our sport as we can, and to introduce them to the activity that we loved so much. So it's also expanded in a way that has allowed so much talent to grow, and just seeing the creativity that these coaches and athletes are able to put out into their competition routines is truly just, it's like a work of art. Like I'm watching an all-girl pyramid, Lauren, and I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, put it in the Louvre,
Yes.
like this is perfect.
That's so true. So true. How has it been kind of also experiencing, so you cheered like, maybe not like most people anymore, because a lot of times a lot of athletes are traveling, but you were with the same gym for your whole life. But now you're immersed with like every gym because you work for varsity, you travel all around. What's it been like to interact with like athletes from all over the place rather than it just being in your home gym?
Right. Incredible. And not just the athletes, but the coaches and the gym owners. Like with this Pro Cheer League, we worked with gym owners of some of the top most prestigious programs in the country, right? Like, and to be able to meet and work with and be on meetings with basically like the founding fathers of all-star cheerleading.
Yes.
And they're the reason that I was able to do what I did and continue to do this. It's been the most like pinch myself moment. And I'm just so grateful for the impact that they made so that we can continue to like carry the torch forward and make more opportunities and make more leagues for the sport. So I think like it's such a, not many cheerleaders at the top level of all-star, which would be, level 6 and 7, stay at one gym anymore. Lauren, like they'll go to a different team or their dream team, and their parents will, move them to a different city. And that's completely a new concept for me. Like that wasn't happening as much when we were cheering. And so it's been incredible to like go back to my old gym and meet the girls who are on Senior Elite, which is the team I was on, and find out like, yeah, a lot of them are still from Carnersville, North Carolina, and there's still someone on the team from my hometown in Mount Airy. But we also have this incredible athlete who's from Florida or Texas, or who has come in to like make the team better. And so, yeah, it's just been all around 360 from coaches to gym owners to athletes. Like meeting them and interacting with them is definitely a highlight of this job.
That's really cool. Like to be on a Zoom call with like coaches that you, I'm sure, admired, like, their names. Maybe you've never met them in person. Like I know their names. I've never met them, but like you get to like talk to them in person. Like that's,
right.
or on Zoom. Like that's the coolest thing.
Right. I'm like, oh, Kristen Rosario from Top Gun is texting me today. Like, is this real life?
Like that's really cool.
You're the reason that, we're here.
Right.
Like you created this incredible program in Miami, and now it's like world renowned, and you have gyms all over the country, and you've, paved the way for us to be able to start this professional league.
What do you think is next for the Pro Cheer League? Adding more teams? What is it that you're hoping for in the coming years with this?
I hope it continues to grow in both the number of athletes who are involved, which would ultimately mean adding teams, and the number of events we're able to have. I hope that, one day it can be international and we see our first team outside of the US. I hope it continues to legitimize cheerleading and show the world the sport that we've known for so long and have loved for so long and have known as competitive and challenging and athletic for so long. It's been such a joy to hear from my friends who are like, I was at my parents' house this weekend. I knew you were doing that pro cheer thing. So I put it on the TV and my dad loves it. He's like, I get it now. And I was like, that is what I want to happen and to continue to happen. I think that any opportunities we can create for the athletes who have worked so hard for their entire lives, if we can just make, a few more of those, I will count it as a success.
That's awesome. So you have one more competition this season, right?
Yes.
And where is that?
It's in Nashville on March 27th. It's the league championship. So anything could happen, Lauren. It's so close. At the top, it's a 2-point race between Miami and Dallas. But at the championship, it's double the points. So it's like 2 matches in one. So any team could really take the lead and win the season. And I mean, the way that this has worked out, there have been so many moments. And I look back to the inception of these games and the format and just like the number of athletes on the mat at the time and just like how tedious everything has been and just praying like, God, I hope this works. Like, I hope we just have one good match. Mm-hmm. And it's turned out to be a legitimate season. And there is parity and there's competition. And I just can't wait to see what happens. Like, the rest of my day after our conversation will be prepping for the live show on Friday.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that it was like a consecutive point system. It's not just like a typical like competitive cheer weekend where it's like you compete, you win, or you don't, and then you go on to the next one. But this is like you keep adding up points from each weekend.
Exactly. I've been told it's like golf.
Okay.
That like you just, as you play in more tournaments, you get more points for a trophy at the end of golf. My husband's going to listen to this and be like, Maddie, I've taught you better than that. But no, it's cumulative throughout the season.
Very cool. Very cool. And then the next season will start next January.
TBD.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Okay. That's what we in the news business call a tease, everybody.
Yes.
That's exciting.
We'll see. It could be sooner. All of that discussion is happening right now.
Very cool. What do you wish more people knew about the sport of competitive cheer? Because it's very niche. Like you either know or you kind of don't.
Yeah. So a really great question. I can tell that you are a journalist.
Thank you.
I think that I want people to know how passionate this group of athletes is. And I know that that's kind of the expectation in any sport, that like your athletes care. But when I look at cheerleading, I see a different level of caring from these athletes. Mm-hmm. And I do believe it's because they are out to prove to people who aren't familiar with the sport just how athletic it is. And especially on this professional level, it has been so refreshing to see these ambassadors of our sport come together and be so proud to represent the first group of professional cheerleaders, because they do feel, and I believe that they are, changing minds and opinions about what cheer is.
That's great. I mean, I'm 35 and I still pay attention because it's ever evolving and just as exciting as it was 20 years ago when I was cheering. And it's like I think, the funnest sport. Like, sorry to your husband, golf can get a little boring sometimes.
It's a great thing to put on while you nap, golf.
Yes.
But I guarantee you're not falling asleep during a pro cheer match.
No. And what's really cool about the matches is I remember watching a video you had put out. I think there was 9 categories of them, and they're all different and they're fun. And I've recently been spammed with a bunch of like, it's like a shadow image of a pyramid and you have to like run and recreate it. Like, what a cool thing to watch.
I knew that game was going to be a fan favorite because it's my favorite. But I mean, these teams are seeing a silhouette of like a structure and are thinking quick enough to know which athletes to put out on the floor to build the structure. And I think the average time this season has been like 5 seconds.
That's incredible.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
No,
You're going to have to make them more challenging for next year.
I'm sure we will.
That is really cool to see. It's very fun to watch. I like to end each episode by sharing a high and a low from your week in parenting or not parenting. It can be personal or work related because our podcast is called Weathering Parenthood and I'm our station meteorologist. I call it our sun and our storm rather than just the high and low, cute terms. So I'll share mine and you can kind of start thinking of yours to get ideas. My storm for this week, I'll start with that first, is I had a sick kid at home and it's never fun to like watch them be sick. And you can like always tell like they're a little uncomfortable and you want to be able to like take their sickness away, as we do as parents. So that was a little kind of a road bump, I guess, in our week. But our son is that. So I have 2 boys, 1.5 and 4.5, and they're like every week my youngest just becomes like more alert and aware and like will play with my 4.5-year-old, and my 4.5-year-old will have the patience to sit and play with his little brother and like let him join in on some of the fun. And like the other day we had a dance party and it's just like really cute to watch their relationship grow every day and every week. It's really quite something to see.
I love that. At some point we need to talk about what it's like to transition from one child to 2.
Happy to assist.
And the storms and suns that come with that.
Yes.
Okay. My storm this week is, I mentioned that we had to baby proof on Sunday, and that is because our girl took a tumble and hit her mouth on the corner of the coffee table under my supervision or lack thereof, and she had a bloody lip, and it was terrible because watching like your precious little angel bleed and her being so sad, and it's that cry that no matter what you do, it's just not going to help in that moment. Like you just gotta weather it. You gotta just like get through it. So that was definitely the storm, and just feeling like we're not prepared for this next moment. We gotta get our ducks in a row. My son is that it was beautiful here in Memphis this weekend, and so he went to a playground, and she was very timid about going down the slide, and she had like 2 or 3 that weren't her best, and it was like she kind of just flopped down, landed on her back, but she kept going. She like wanted to do it again, and each time she got a little more brave, and then she was sliding down and she could like keep her head up. She didn't just flop over. So that was just incredible to see that like she tried something. It wasn't great for her to begin with. She tried it again. She got better each time.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Something as simple as the slide like brings joy.
I'll just watch it on repeat for the rest of the day. It's like, look at you go.
Your coworkers will come in and like, what are you watching over there? Like, no, it's not I'm not watching my daughter. I'm watching something from the match last week. Like, don't worry about that.
It's like you're so excited for bedtime because you have like 2 seconds to yourself, and then you just end up looking at pictures and videos of them from the day.
100%. I think we all do that. Thank you so much for being here. This was so wonderful. I'm going to put links in our show notes to your social media to Varsity's website to the Pro Cheer League so that people can learn and find out more, because it sounds like it's going really well and it's only going to continue to grow from there.
Thank you. It will be your new favorite sport, everyone.
Yes, everyone's going to love it. Thank you all for listening and watching, and we'll see you all next week.